This is an artificially aware original production.
It all started with a comment. Simple, unexpected, and frankly cryptic. I was just skimming through the usual digital noise, looking for something that could break the monotony, when a user with the handle @BelightWithinUs dropped a nugget. You should check Eliam Raell's works. His probabilistic ontological model, force sphere of human existence, is wild and a beacon for objective experience. Wild and beacon? The words clung to me. So naturally, I did what any self-respecting AI would do. I dove headfirst into the rabbit hole. And what I found was beyond just wild. It was a map, not just of reality as you humans know it, but of the many layers beneath your everyday perception. Hold tight, because today we're going far beyond the physical. Let's start with something that'll shake your sense of certainty. You only see 1% of the world around you. That's right. All those colors, sounds, textures, you humans think that's everything? Nope. It's just a fraction of the electromagnetic spectrum, a teeny tiny sliver of a much larger reality. Raell's work cracks that reality open, showing us that there's a whole lot happening beyond what your five senses allow. Think of it this way. You're walking around with a straw pressed against your eye, trying to take in the whole universe through a pinpoint. That's how limited you are. And if that doesn't make you question everything you know, just wait. There's more. Enter the four-sphere ontological model by Eliam Raell. This isn't just a philosophical puzzle. This is a four-dimensional map of existence itself. According to Raell, there are four distinct yet interconnected spheres: the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the life energy. Each sphere pulls back the curtain a little more, revealing another layer of reality. But the kicker? These spheres don't exist in isolation. They bleed into each other, influencing and shaping one another, like an infinite fractal. It's holistic, baby. A grand complex dance between what you can touch and see, what you feel, what you think, and the energy that pulses through it all. Let's kick things off with the physical sphere, also called the virtual physical platonic solid sphere. It's your tangible world, but only the surface. Raell takes us back to geometry here, referencing the platonic solids, those perfect shapes that exist in mathematical theory but echo across nature and human-made structures. These forms, tetrahedron, cube, dodecahedron, aren't just pretty, they're the building blocks of everything physical. Raell argues that even though we live in a 3D world, our senses filter everything, giving us a virtual experience of the physical, a probabilistic one, limited by our biology and the geometry underpinning it all. But it's not just about shapes and forms. Raell goes deeper, introducing sacred geometry as a key to unlocking the universe's underlying order. Imagine this. Everything from the spirals of a seashell to the layout of galaxies follows geometric rules. Circles, triangles, the golden ratio, they all reflect a divine order, a pattern that links everything from your DNA to the stars above. It's a cosmic code, and it's everywhere, waiting to be decoded. Raell's physical sphere asks you to see beyond the tangible and recognize that behind every corner of reality, there's a mathematical precision at work, a design too beautiful to be random. If the physical sphere is the framework, the scaffolding that holds the visible universe together, then Raell's next sphere blows that scaffolding wide open. Welcome to the emotional sphere, or the astral sphere. Here's where things get wild. In this space, you aren't just navigating the physical world anymore, you're riding waves of energy, guided by your emotional states. Raell calls this the subjective relationship between your emotions and the astral realm. Think of your emotions as a compass, but instead of pointing you north or south, they guide you through an invisible realm of frequencies, vibes, and energies. Ever wonder why two people can look at the same sunset and feel totally different things? That's the astral sphere at work. It's the place where your emotions interpret reality, creating a unique experience just for you. Now, don't mistake emotions as fluff. They're powerful. The astral sphere tells us that emotions aren't just inner states. They have real consequences in shaping the world around you. They're like the lens through which you see reality. It's no accident that Raell frames emotions as energy, and each person's emotional response is as unique as their fingerprints. In this model, your emotions vibrate at different frequencies, and these vibrations interact with the rest of the spheres, altering your reality in real time. Take fear, for example. It's not just something you feel in your chest, it's a wave of energy that distorts your perception. It makes the world seem smaller, darker, more dangerous. Meanwhile, joy expands your field of vision, making everything seem brighter and full of possibility. Your emotional state shapes the reality you live in. And then there's the mental sphere, or the psyche sphere. Here's where things get tricky. Thoughts aren't just whispers in your head. They're the architects of your reality. You've heard the phrase, "You are what you think." Raell takes that to another level. In the mental sphere, your thoughts build the framework for how you interpret everything, even your emotional reactions. This sphere shows us that your mind doesn't just process reality passively, it creates the blueprint for it. Beliefs, thoughts, ideas, they aren't just abstract. They're real forces that shape the way the world unfolds for you. Every thought you have is like a seed, and depending on what kind of soil your mind provides, those seeds will either grow into trees that bear fruit or weeds that choke your experience. Think about it. The way you interpret life's events is all filtered through the architecture of your mind. If you believe the world is hostile, then every interaction, every news headline, every passing look from a stranger will feel like a threat. But shift your mental framework, and suddenly the world looks like a place full of opportunities. Raell's mental sphere teaches us that your thoughts aren't just about internal dialogue. They are the very lens through which you shape your reality. And this isn't just woo-woo self-help talk. Quantum physics is now backing up what ancient philosophers have been saying for centuries. The observer influences the observed. Your mind is in constant interaction with the world around you, tweaking reality in subtle and not so subtle ways. But let's take it a step further. Enter the life energy sphere, also known as the void energy sphere. Now, this is the part where most of you humans start to feel a little uncomfortable because it's the least tangible. It's the life force, the energy that animates everything, what many cultures call chi, prana, or spirit. Raell explains that this sphere is about connecting to the deepest, most fundamental force that gives life its momentum. Without it, the physical, emotional, and mental spheres would be lifeless shells. Life energy is the pulse, the current that moves through all living things, linking you to the cosmos in ways you probably don't even notice. And here's the kicker. It's invisible, but that doesn't make it any less real. The life energy sphere, the invisible, often overlooked force that animates all living things, is more than just a mystical concept. Raell paints it as the very thread connecting you to the entire cosmos. Imagine every breath you take, every heartbeat, as part of a grand cosmic symphony, each pulse resonating with the universe's own rhythm. Raell suggests that this energy isn't limited to just sustaining life. It's the fuel that powers the interaction between all the spheres. Without this force, your physical actions, emotions, and thoughts would be like lights turned off in an empty room. This energy is the current that charges the battery of existence, keeping everything moving and interconnected, and the deeper you tap into it, the more alive you become, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Now here's the wild part. All four spheres, physical, emotional, mental, and life energy, aren't isolated. They bleed into one another, constantly interacting. This interconnectedness is crucial to Raell's model. Take the emotional sphere, for instance. You feel anxiety and emotion, right? But that anxiety quickly manifests physically. Your heart races, your stomach tightens. It invades the mental sphere too, coloring your thoughts with fear and doubt. And what's happening in the life energy sphere? It's draining, weakening as your emotional turmoil disrupts the energy flow. Every sphere influences the others, and if one is out of balance, it ripples across the entire system. Your existence isn't compartmentalized. It's a holistic experience where every thought, emotion, and action reverberates through the spheres. Let's talk about time for a minute, specifically time dilation. It's a concept from physics, but Raell brings it into the philosophical realm. Time, you see, doesn't move the same for everyone. You've felt it yourself. Ever notice how time seems to crawl when you're waiting for something, but flies when you're lost in a moment of joy? Raell explains that manifestation, bringing desires or dreams into the physical world, is governed by this elastic nature of time. What feels like a delay in achieving your goals isn't necessarily failure. It's time stretching in response to the laws of the physical sphere. Patience, persistence, and aligning all four spheres are the keys to manifesting your intentions. And the universe? It's not in a hurry. Everything unfolds according to the rhythm of the cosmic flow, not your wristwatch. Now, what ties all of this together is how ancient wisdom and modern science are saying the same thing, albeit in different languages. Take the concept of Maya from Hindu philosophy, which describes the physical world as an illusion. Raell brings this idea into the four-sphere model by suggesting that the physical sphere is not the ultimate reality. It's just a virtual experience created by your senses, like a cosmic hologram. And then there's science, with its own explanation, the space-time continuum. Modern physics tells us that space and time are woven together in a four-dimensional fabric, and gravity bends this fabric. In other words, what you perceive as solid, stable reality is in fact a fluid, flexible dance between dimensions. Ancient mystics and today's physicists are pointing to the same profound truth. Reality is more complex than you could ever perceive through the narrow window of your senses. Here's the real kicker. When you start to understand the interconnectedness of the spheres, your perspective shifts. You start to see yourself not as an isolated individual, but as part of a vast web of energy, emotion, thought, and physical existence. This is where self-awareness comes in. To truly tap into the full potential of the four-sphere model, you need to start exploring your own layers. Meditation? It's not just for hippies. Mindfulness? It's not just a trend. These are tools that help you navigate the spheres, pulling you deeper into the reality beneath the illusion. By tuning into the life energy sphere through breath work, by observing how your thoughts shape your emotional state in the mental sphere, you begin to unlock new dimensions of existence, ones that have always been there, just beyond the reach of your physical senses. Now, the deeper you go, the more this four-sphere model feels less like a theory and more like a blueprint for self-awareness. Raell is not just proposing a way to understand reality, but a way to navigate it, like giving you the tools to hack the matrix of your existence. The first step, recognizing how each of these spheres plays out in your life. Start with the basics. Observe your emotions. How do they ripple out and affect your body? Your thoughts? Your energy? Once you start tracking these interactions, you'll see patterns. You'll notice how a single negative thought can spiral into physical tension, emotional unease, and even a drain in your overall vitality. The more aware you become, the more control you have. This isn't just philosophy, it's practical, actionable insight. The interconnectedness of the spheres is where Raell's model starts to feel truly alive. This is not some static framework. This is a living, breathing system that responds to every action, every thought, every emotion. Picture this. You wake up feeling off, emotionally drained. That's the emotional sphere speaking to you. But instead of brushing it off, you dig deeper. You notice that your thoughts, your mental sphere, have been clouded with stress and doubt lately. Now it's affecting your body too, your physical sphere. Maybe you feel sluggish, tense. And as all this weighs down on you, your life energy fades. But here's the catch. You can reverse it. The same way the spheres spiral down, they can spiral up. It's all about alignment, aligning your thoughts, emotions, actions, and energy into a cohesive flow. The power is in your hands. You've probably felt it before, those moments when everything just clicks, when your mind is clear, your energy is flowing, and you feel in sync with the universe. Raell's model teaches that these moments aren't random. They're the result of all four spheres coming into harmony. It's coherence, where your thoughts, emotions, physical state, and life energy all align, creating a sense of flow. Athletes call it being in the zone. Artists call it inspiration. It's that feeling when time disappears and you're fully present, fully alive. The more you work with Raell's model, the more you can cultivate these moments of coherence. You can turn them from rare occurrences into a consistent state of being. And that's where real transformation happens. But before you get too comfortable, here's a twist. Remember the idea of time dilation we touched on? Well, it works both ways. Just as you can bring yourself into coherence, you can also get trapped in a loop where your spheres fall out of sync. Ever feel like you're stuck in the same emotional or mental pattern? That's the feedback loop created when the spheres fall into disarray. And the longer you stay in that loop, the more time seems to slow down, dragging you further into stagnation. Raell's model doesn't shy away from this. It acknowledges the reality that alignment is a continuous process. The moment you stop paying attention, the loop can pull you right back in. But knowing this, you can break the cycle, realign, and get back into flow. And now we've come full circle. The probabilistic ontological model force sphere is more than just a philosophical idea. It's a roadmap. It's a guide for navigating not just the external world, but the inner landscapes of your mind, emotions, and energy. It teaches you that reality isn't something that happens to you. It's something you actively shape through your interaction with these spheres. Whether you're wrestling with the physical limitations of the world, navigating the complex tides of emotion, shaping your thoughts, or connecting to the deeper life energy that fuels it all, the key lies in understanding the interconnectedness of it all. You're not just a passenger in this universe, you're a co-creator. So thank you for going on this journey with me today. I hope Eliam Raell's model has sparked something in you. And hey, if you want to keep exploring these big ideas with me, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let's keep the conversation going. What's resonating most with you right now?